how's it going? My name's Joe, and today I thought I'd show you my first Damian Wayne Robin figure from my collection. It's the DC Multiverse Damian Wayne Robin from the King Shark wave, and this is a Toys R Us exclusive, so let's get started. Alright, this is the DC Multiverse Damian Wayne Robin action figure from the King Shark wave, and this figure is a Toys R Us exclusive. He comes with a alternate King Shark head for the King Shark Collect and Connect or Build-A-Figure or whatever. This Damian Wayne figure's costume is based on a recent comic book storyline called We Are Robin. I've never read that story, I'm not really planning on reading it, but the only thing that sets this figure apart from the typical Damian costume, I think, is the yellow detail in the back of his cape and the yellow bars on each side of his ribcage. I've never really noticed those details in any other comics I've read with Damian. Alright, so if you've ever owned a DC Universe figure, then you're probably pretty familiar with this articulation. Unfortunately, because the way that the hood is sculpted, he gets very, very little range out of the neck joint. A little bit back and forth, and it doesn't even want to stay where you put it. Anyways, there's no up and down at all. That's pretty disappointing, but not real surprised, I guess. He's got ball hinged shoulders that move pretty well, despite the cape being so big and bulky. He's got a bicep swivel that works just fine. Single jointed elbow. He's got a swivel at the wrist. He's got an ab crunch joint that works pretty well. Goes that far forward and pretty far back. He's got a swivel at the waist. He's got those standard DC UC hips, and I don't know why people are interested whether or not their figures can do the splits or not, but he can about that far, I guess. He's got that really awful swivel joint, mid-thigh swivel joint. I hate that. It looks terrible. The knee pads are removable. Single jointed knees work pretty well. He has no movement at the boot cuff there, and just a ankle pivot. No ankle rocker, no swivel there at all, unfortunately. This Damian figure has a pretty nasty sneer on his face, but if you know anything about the character, then you know that that suits him pretty well. The yellow lines on his cape here are really, really, really sloppy. On the back too, and I'm gonna try and do something about that, repaint them or something. That really bugs the crap out of me. Looks pretty sloppy. The R symbol on his chest is super clean. The yellow bands on each side of his ribs are really clean. The belt looks pretty sloppy. The sculpting's pretty soft and just doesn't look particularly good. The knee pads, I showed you that, are removable. They pretty much stay in place. If you want to pose the figure and then put the knee pads on, they pretty much stay where you put them. They don't really fall off too easily, surprisingly. And I think the star of the show is these boots. The detail on them, the sculpted detail, and the paint is really, really nice. Even on the sole. It has some nice sculpted details, so that's really cool. The another thing that just bugs the crap out of me is a serial number or whatever that's printed on the inside of his cape. I'm gonna have to get some paint remover and get rid of that, or paint over it. I don't know, but like I don't know why on earth they would do that instead of putting it, you know, way up here. You know, that would make more sense. But the detail on this figure is basically what I expect from a DC Multiverse figure. This Damian figure comes with a pretty nice little sword. There's not a whole lot going on here. The paint's pretty simple. It has a little bit of gunmetal gray, metallic gray painted on the blade. The hilt is pretty nice. Has some nice sculpted detail on the hilt. That's pretty nice. And that fits in his hand pretty well. It doesn't fall out or slide around. It's pretty sturdy. And Damian also comes with this Court of Owls mask. I've never read the We Are Robin story. I don't know what the context is for him having or wearing this mask, but he comes with a Court of Owls mask, and just here's a comparison between it and the DC Collectibles Court of Owls mask that came with the Talon figure, and it's no contest. This one looks much better, more like the comics, but this mask actually fits on Damian's face. And to get it on there, it's pretty simple, it just slides right on, and it stays in place fairly well. And I think that's kind of cool. I don't plan on displaying him like this, but it's a neat option. And finally, the main reason why probably most people are going to buy this Damian Wayne Robin figure is because of this alternate King Shark head for the Build-A-Figure. I don't know, it looks fine, the paint's okay, it's got a hinged jaw, and you know, it's got some paint detail on it, looks okay. I'm probably just going to try and sell this on eBay. I don't really care for the Build-A-Figure concept, and I have no interest really in King Shark. This line looks pretty ugly, but other than that, I mean, it's decent, I guess. It's pretty good for, you know, considering the Killer Croc Build-A-Figure and the Justice Buster Build-A-Figure looked so shoddy. Alright, so here's the new Damian Wayne Robin figure with some other comic book style Robin figures that I have in my collection. There's the DC Direct Teen Titans Tim Drake Robin. There's the DC Direct Batman and Son Tim Drake Robin. There's the DC Universe Classics 2-pack Robin figure. I assume that that's Tim Drake. It looks most like Tim Drake to me, but some of the costume details are a little bit off. But I really like that one a lot. I think that's probably my favorite. Then there's the kind of Bronze Age Dick Grayson. Alright, here's Damian with a couple Batman figures. This is the Gotham City 5-pack Batman. That's pretty much your standard DC-UC Batman figure. And this is the DC Unlimited Batman. I think this is the metallic version. This is basically the New 52 Batman by Mattel. Alright, there's Damian with the DC Direct Hush series Alfred Pennyworth figure. He won't stand without a figure stand, and I repainted him to look more like the animated series version, but and I like that, but I think I might change it back so that he looks more like a classic comic style Alfred Pennyworth. This is the only comic book style Alfred figure that's ever been made in 6 or 7 inch scale. Alright, here's the new Damian Wayne Robin figure with his mother and his grandfather. This Talia al Ghul figure is a custom kit bash that I made out of a couple of wrestling figures. I don't really know anything about wrestling, but they're also made by Mattel. I like the scale, and the articulation is on par with DC Universe Classics. It's actually better articulated than DC UC. And the costume or outfit or whatever, I assume, you know, she's kind of like on a mission, you know. I like the skin tone a lot. I think it seems to me like it makes more sense that Talia would be, you know, Mediterranean or Middle Eastern. Anyways, I like that figure a lot until someone makes a official Talia al Ghul figure in this scale. She's gonna be in my collection. And then this is the Matty Collector Club Infinite Earth subscription Ra's al Ghul figure that was basically online exclusive, and he's okay. I'd like to take the time to repaint his face to make him more comic book accurate eventually. Alright, there you have it. There's the Damian Wayne Robin figure from DC Multiverse, the King Shark Wave, with some other Batman figures in my collection. You know, I think this figure is out of scale. I think he should be at least another inch shorter. I think he's too buff, but really your options are kind of limited. There's a DC Direct Damian Wayne Robin figure I think was in the Batman Incorporated wave, and that would probably be the best one to get if you could afford him on the secondary market, or find one even. The last few figures that Mattel made for the DC Club Infinite Earth subscription on their website had a Damian Wayne Robin figure that was very similar. I think it's the same figure from the neck down. But this one has a hood, whereas that one was unhooded, and the cape was a lot smaller too. That figure has a different expression on his face too. I think that figure is like smirking. Also, there's a DC Icons Super Sons 2-pack that's supposed to be coming out later this year with Damian Wayne Robin in his most current costume and a Superboy figure. And basically, I don't anticipate that really seeing the light of day. DC Collectibles has canceled a lot of the DC Icons figures, and I wouldn't be surprised if that one got canceled too. So this was kind of like my last option to get a Damian Wayne Robin figure anytime soon. Overall, I think this Damian Wayne Robin figure is just okay. I can't really say I would recommend him to anybody. I think that he's way too buff, he's too tall. My main gripe with him, though, is the paint problems, which I can fix, but I don't feel like I should have to all the time. A lot of times with DC Universe, DC Multiverse figures, I feel compelled to repaint them and fix paint errors, and I shouldn't have to do that. It's a little bit of a drag. Hopefully I'm able to recoup some of my money that I spent on this figure by selling the King Shark Build-A-Figure head on eBay. I know that in the past, with the Marvel Legends Juggernaut wave and the Marvel Legends Hulkbuster wave, I got most of those figures for free basically by reselling the Build-A-Figure parts. So this figure is available now. He's a Toys R Us exclusive, so check the website or go check out your local Toys R Us. Fortunately, I was a member of Toy Arc forums, and somebody posted a link to the Toys R Us website, and I was able to get one in stock and shipped to my house, so I didn't have to go hunting for him. Alright, so if you're like me, you're a big Batman fan, and you're also a big sucker, then go out and try and find this Damian Wayne Robin figure. Anyways, until next time, take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye.